So the crunch is there, and gosh, you hate to be the bad guy, the deliverer of bad news all the time. But on the other hand, I keep going back to the point that it's important. It's important that people must not be afraid, and they must realize that the only thing that's going to make any difference for their lives is for their own courage to take hold.
What are mainline Canadians saying about the Queen openly ruling?
Nothing. Most Canadians, I mean, they like the parliamentary system that we have. There are many who don't. There's groups that don't, large numbers who don't. But the idea of having the Queen in there as the final voice in our things has been something that's been part of our system forever, and there's not a significant force moving to change that, because she's basically been a figurehead. But when you see something like this happening, which again, most people won't understand its significance. You've hit the nail on the head, and especially when you go back to the one world order and the power of the Queen of England in that one world order thing. It's pretty significant, but most people don't have a clue.
Well, it's not a figurehead, because she only shows her power when she has to.
Absolutely. That's right.
I mean, hey, I don't care what your parliament says. I'm in charge. My governor is in charge.
Well, only under certain critical conditions, like we've just seen. But that's the point. The point of the critical conditions is the very time of importance, isn't it?
Bloomberg's reporting that the Federal Reserve is under war powers, under martial law. That's in Bloomberg.
My God.
Oh, yeah, they're announcing they're going to have regular Army brigades on the streets of America. It's just incredible. Connie Fogal, I want to get you back for a full hour in the near future. We've got one little segment left when we come back. Get up the Canadian Action Party website. Tell Canadians how they can join you, some of the fights, where this takeover by the Queen of Parliament is going. And I guess the next thing is they'll just deny the Queen even exists. But the Queen Elizabeth II does exist. She is real, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. All right, Connie Fogal, in the 5 minutes we've got left, plug the website. Tell us where this Parliament situation with the King, the Queen openly ruling.
The Canadian Action Party website is www.canadianactionparty.ca. It's an interesting situation happening in Canada for everybody to watch as we see the state of our Parliament now being such that it's really not representing the people at all. I'm worried very much about the military move back and forth between the two countries. I just got a notice there are some military in Canada, our own military are on our streets, and in some places we never have seen that before. Many articles coming from the States talking about the military being in the streets in the United States. So I think the disarray in our Parliament is perfect for another major something happening to be able to really get into the emergency measures kinds of action that have been put in place under the Security and Prosperity Partnership Agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico, and a false flag, terrible something happening in the United States, probably at the time of Obama's inauguration. A lot of warnings about that. So people have to be alert. People have to be on guard. And the last thing I want to say is that in relation to an ad that you just had on there, the health movement, the alternative health movement, the supplements are so necessary for us to fight against the impact on us of the attacks on us, actually, say, in the chemtrails and all sorts of things that are used to demobilize us and to make it impossible for us to be strong, to be able to resist what's going to happen, what's coming down the pike. Fight that movement. Stay strong.
Absolutely. How do folks get involved with the Canadian Action Party?
Well, they can go to our website. That's the best way, and they can just click on a dot in there, and they can ask to be a contact person or to be contacted, or they can ask to be a member. It's right in there on the homepage.
Getting into population reduction, that is their stated official UN end game, and you mentioned that your take on where all this is going.
Yes, and that's why I'm also saying the alternative, the supplements, to stay strong on that, because the whole depopulation thing, there's been a lot of talk about that for a long time, as you know, with Brzezinski talking about that a long time ago. And I think this whole pressure of the attack on these supplements is to prevent people from having natural ways to protect themselves and keep their own immune system strong. That's going to be, I think, the subtle attack on us. It's not going to be some sort of blatant, violent coming down on us by military and police force. It's going to be the whole health thing. It's going to be... I
agree. It's incremental, ambient background being incrementally turned up.
Right. So that's the thing. People stay strong, but keep your supplements. Get involved in that movement to prevent them from making it impossible for us to have access to those supplements, wanting to make them totally illegal, be illegal even to grow blueberries in your yard. So this is big. We have to protect ourselves.
That's in the Codex Alimentarius.
Right.
And then they're now raiding Amish milk producers, co-ops that grow organic food. They're arresting them. That's mainstream news. You cannot make this insanity up. It's all about control, the Animal ID Act, the Premises ID, how they're taking over everything. In closing, how do you see this whole parliamentary crisis unfolding? They'll just take over the Liberals, and then that way the Queen can still secretly rule instead of openly ruling?
Well, the Liberals, I think, will simply support Harper, and they'll get whatever kind of package that they want, which will facilitate the New World Order whole agenda. There's not going to be a takeover, in my view, right now of a coalition by the minority parties, because Ignatieff is a Harperite. They're the same. Same stripes, and their agenda is the same. It's the New World Order. So
the leadership of the Liberals that was actually fighting is now being removed.
Well, the leadership of the Liberals, that's right. The people that were in the leadership under Dion, who were wanting to cooperate with the rest of the opposition parties, has been removed, and they've put into the leadership of the Liberals a person who is a New World Order, Ignatieff.
Let's be clear. In the Parliament with multiple parties, not just two. There was a coalition government forming. The people's representatives were saying, get rid of Harper. We're going to go in another direction.
That's
what the people want. And the Queen came down from her pedestal, waved a magic wand, and said no.
Well, it didn't work quite like that. What Harper did is he goes into the Queen's representative here and says, prorogue Parliament and let me do the thing the way I want to do it, and she has cooperated with him. The leader of the Liberals at the time, Dion, also went to her and said, let us take over. There will not be, we will have the confidence. What's supposed to happen is the Queen's representative is supposed to satisfy herself that the confidence of the Parliament is in place, and then to let that be the way that it runs. Dion went in and said, the group of us that are in the minority, we're together more than Harper's group, and we want to take over, and we have the confidence of the Parliament. She wouldn't go along with them. She went along with Harper, who said, let me just get rid of
Who does not have the confidence. I mean, she has the final checkmate. She has the control, but doesn't like to publicly use it. Connie Fogal, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Take care. Hope folks get involved with that group. They're wonderful folks. We're going to come back into international piracy, then into the economy, your phone calls, the arrest of the governor, and more.